order the Planning Commission meeting for October the 16th, 2025. Ms. Parker, do we have a quorum this evening?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Let us all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
Lord, thank you for this opportunity to serve our community. Grant us wisdom, fairness, and respect as we make decisions that shape our county's future. May all that we do honor you and benefit those we represent. Amen.
Amen. Has everyone had the opportunity to read the minutes from the last meeting, which was held on September the 18th, 2025? And if so, are there any comments? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Second.
Properly motioned and second. Do we have, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kimmerly,
Aye.
Mr. Patuk,
Aye.
Mr. Cosby,
Aye.
Ms. Kowalski,
Aye.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is Director Report by Ms. Jamie Sherry.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, my presentation this evening for the director's report will be an update of upcoming public meetings on zoning applications. These are for both public hearings as well as community meetings. And as you know, these are all public meetings that are open to citizen participation. So starting with the public hearings, at the November Board of Supervisors meetings, there will be 2 public hearings. It should be noted that the time, date, and location of this meeting is not the normal schedule for the Board of Supervisors, which is usually the first Tuesday. Because of the election, the meeting has been moved to Thursday, November 6th. And because we are expecting a large group in response to one of the public hearings, the public hearing will be held at the Goochland County High School, and the meeting time will be 6:30, as that is the earliest we are able to hold a meeting there. In District 4, there's an application by Andrea Smith. She is requesting a conditional use permit for an accessory family housing unit detached. The location is 831 Broad Street Road. There's also a county-wide amendment to the comprehensive plan, as well as an amendment to the zoning ordinance, both establishing an overlay district, the technology overlay district to be specific. It also has in the ordinance a reduction of the parking requirements, and then also has some in additional standards for uses such as the small nuclear reactors, the natural gas peaking plants, and the utility generations. So staff is currently working on revisions to the application for the technology overlay district. On the screen is the location of the website, as well as the QR code that will bring you directly to the website. If you're watching at home, or if you want to pull the video up later, you can pause it on the screen and be able to get directly with the QR code. When the proposed application is updated, we're going to be doing a social media blast. So you will get notifications on all the social media, Instagram, as well as Twitter and Facebook. But we're also going to be doing a news flash. And anybody who had participated in any of the previous community meetings, and we have your email, you will receive an email that the information has been put on the website. Okay, moving on to the Planning Commission public hearing. On the November 20th Planning Commission meeting, there will be 2 public hearings. The meeting will be held in this room starting at 6 p.m. The 2 applications are In District 1, there is an application by Rogel and Marta Benson. They're requesting a conditional use permit for a short-term rental unhosted. The location of this request is 4700 Fleming Road. Also, that evening, there will be a public hearing held on an application in District 2. This application is by 2640, sorry, I thought that was my phone for a second, I'm sorry. 2640 Fairgrounds Road, LLC. They're requesting a conditional use permit for an unhosted short-term rental at 2640 Fairgrounds Road. So next I'll present the upcoming community meetings. In District 3, there is an application by BJS Hauling LLC. They're requesting to rezone 2.6 acres from agricultural limited to industrial general for a construction equipment storage yard with outdoor storage. The location is 1991 Triple T Lane. The community meeting will be held on Monday, October 20th, on site, which is 994 Three Chop Road, and the meeting will be held at 6 p.m. Next, in District 3, community meeting will be held for an application by Ricky and Terry Bryant requesting a conditional use permit for a detached accessory family housing unit. The location is 2050 Hawktown Road. This meeting will be held on Monday, October 22nd, on site, which is 2050 Hawktown Road, and the meeting will be at 6 p.m. Next, in District 4, there's an application by SP Real Estate Holdings LLC. You all would be familiar, in the audience would be familiar with this as the new Honda dealership that is on Broad Street Road. They're requesting to amend their conditional use permit and zoning application to add the use of a car wash. The car wash will be used for just their cars. They're not going to be open to the public selling, but based on the requirements of the ordinance, they have to go through this process. There will also be an opportunity to clean up some other things that are already achieved through the zoning process. That meeting will be held on Monday, October 27th, and that will be held at 1800 Wilt Ridge Circle. I believe that's the hotel. And then that meeting is at 6 p.m. And in District 3, an application by Samuel Mickey Jr. requesting to rezone 10 acres from agricultural limited to residential rural to create 2 additional lots. This is located along Maidens Road, approximately a half a mile northwest of River Road West. The meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 29th at Sandy Hook, 1800 Sandy Hook Road, which is right here in this building, and the meeting will be held at 6 p.m. And lastly, we have quite a few community meetings this month. Lastly, in District 1, there is an application by Virginia Sports Park and Training Center at Goochland, LLC. This is an application requesting a conditional use permit for skeet shooting range on approximately 75 acres on Walton Road. This is approximately 0.4 miles north of Three Chop Road. This meeting will be held on Thursday, October 30th, in the boardroom right here, 1800 Sandy Hook Road, and the time is 6:30. Actually, it will be held in this building. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be held in room 270, which is the conference room on this hallway behind me. However, we will have signage for anybody who attends. Thank you.
Jamie, question.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry, that first community meeting that's going to be on Triple T Lane,
Mm-hmm.
what is the date on that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, certainly, let me see. The first one is October 20
Okay, thank you.
at 6 o'clock, and it will be on site,
Okay.
of course. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Our next item is citizen comment period. For the Planning Commission bylaws, Section 4, addressing the commission, public comments. Generally, all persons who speak before the commission during the citizen comment period or a public hearing shall do so from the lectern and furnish their names and addresses to the commission. A speaker shall only speak once on any item unless the commission asks the speaker to answer questions. No person may address the commission unless they have first been recognized by the chair. Each person who desires to speak shall be given time to present oral or written comments. Comments shall be directed to the commission, not the audience. The citizen comment period provides a public forum for the commission to hear from citizens about matters pertinent to the activities, issues, or policies of the commission. The citizen comment period is limited to matters that are not scheduled for public hearing on tonight's agenda.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Parker. If you wish to speak during this citizen comment period, please come forward and state your name and your address, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. You'll see on the lectern that there are globes. The green will indicate that you can go. Yellow indicates that your time is becoming limited, and red, your time is extinguished. So if you would, if there's anyone who wishes to speak tonight on anything other than what's on our agenda tonight, please come forward. Seeing none, the citizen comment period is over.
We have no unfinished business.
Well, in terms of, I guess, new business, Madam Clerk and the rest of the commission, I have talked to my board member, Mr. Jonathan Lau, and as well as the rest of the commission members who are assembled here and others who, in terms of staff, and of course, our Ms. Parker as well. I would like to just say that it's definitely been a pleasure and an honor to serve Goochland County, as I will be leaving the Planning Commission as of this particular meeting. But it has definitely been an honor to serve Goochland County, and I still say, and I will continue to say, that this is the best county in the state of Virginia. I will be around, so if there are any questions or anybody needs to just contact me about anything, feel free to reach out to me. But definitely appreciate each and every one, Mr. Kimberly, Mr. Patuk, Ms. Kowalski, Mr. McLaughlin, of course, our attorney as well. Definitely appreciate you, all the staff, those who are here and those who are not here. We definitely appreciate them. Dr. Raley as well, I saw him earlier. Where's Dr. Raley? Dr. Raley's in the back. Thank you, Dr. Raley. And of course, our clerk who handles and keeps all of us all together, Ms. Parker, definitely thank you as well. Those who do all of the setting up of the microphones, the technical pieces, we thank you. I thank you guys for doing all of that as well. And again, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Ms. Kowalski, will you please read Mr. Cosby's letter of thanks for his service to the commission?
Sure, thank you. Before I do that, I think I can speak for everyone that we have really enjoyed working with you, Mr. Cosby. It has been an honor and a pleasure to do so. We've had many conversations, and kind of being in different walks of life, maybe our paths may not have crossed, but I'm very thankful that they did, and I thank you for your expertise, for your guidance, and for your dedication of the many hours that we have been up here. You are a class act, and I thank you so very much. Dear Mr. Cosby, on behalf of your fellow Planning Commission members, I want to extend a sincere thank you for the service on the Planning Commission. It is through your dedication and commitment to the county you participated in public hearings and made recommendations to the Board of Supervisors on rezoning and conditional use permit applications, comprehensive plan amendments, and zoning ordinance amendments. You have been a part of many decisions that promoted the orderly development of the county. By attending the Virginia Certified Planning Commissioners Program, you participated in a comprehensive training program that provided you with the tools to make decisions related to land use development that are legal, fact-based, community-oriented, and equitable. As Vice Chair of the Planning Commission from April 4th, 2024 to March 4th, 2025, and Chair since April 17th, 2025, your leadership provided us with examples of integrity, self-awareness, and compassion when facing tough land use decisions. We thank you for your hard work and wish you success in all your future endeavors. Yeah, thank you.
Again, thank you very much. Ms. Parker, are there any requests to defer?
We have no requests to defer, additions, deletions, or changes to the order of the public hearings. Our first public hearing item this evening is in District 4, CU 2025-5, application by Enterprise Leasing Company of Norfolk Richmond LLC, requesting to renew conditional use permit CUP KCU 2019-20 to allow automobile rental on 3.411 acres at 40 Broad Street Road on tax map number 471-043C. The property is zoned Business General B1 with proffered conditions. The CUP is required by County Zoning Ordinance, Section 15242. The comprehensive plan designates this area as commercial.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. I don't think this will be as moving as that, but I appreciate it. It's good to see everyone. My name is John Michael Whalen. I'm a planner with the county. And as Ms. Parker pointed out, this is about enterprise leasing. It's CU 2505. It's in District 4, and they're seeking to renew an existing CUP related to their operations of automobile rental. The applicant is Enterprise. It's located at 40 Broad Street in the Broadview Shopping Center, tax map 471-043C. It's about 3.4 acres, zone B1 for business general with proffers, and the comp plan designates it as a commercial area. On the vicinity map, over there circled in red on the eastern end is the approximate area, or is the area where it's located. On the aerial photo map, you have two parcels. The larger parcel is the Broadview Shopping Center. The smaller parcel to the bottom left here, if I can get the laser on there, is the Dollar General. It's its own separate parcel. Just to give you some reference for where we're at. The zoning map shows it as B1. To the north, there's M1 Industrial. To the west, there's R3, which does allow for some light commercial. That is the Bundle of Joy Daycare to the left. And then there's MPUD and a resident up off the Broad Street. And then a 2035 comprehensive plan shows the majority of the area is commercial. Fire Station 3 is located to the west. That's the county state institutional. It's kind of hard to see, but. So the existing use, as I said before, it is an automobile rental area. It's been in operation since the CU got approved in 2019. They aren't proposing any changes to the existing use. They're pretty much just looking to renew. The conceptual site plan here just makes it a little clearer with our nice new imagery. The Enterprise Rent-A-Car is over in the northwestern portion of the shopping center. There is a detailing shed or car wash. It's to the west of it. If you go looking at the building to the left, it's not fenced off or anything, but all of the work that is done to the automobiles is done in the shed. There's no outside storage. There's no queuing. You wouldn't even know it's there unless it was pointed out to you on the map. There's also designated parking for their vehicles, kind of down in the southern portion of the parking lot. They're not allowed by the conditions to have more than 20 cars related to the use on site at any point. And typical to their operation, they don't have anywhere near that number. It's not good business to have 20 cars sitting in the parking lot. So with the draft conditions, the proposed use would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan as it was before. There was a community meeting held on June 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at 40 Broad Street. There was no citizenry there, but there was a planning commissioner, Mr. Pittuck, sorry. The applicant explained their proposal, and we had some conversation around how the business operated, if there was any plans for expansion in the future, just kind of the general business model, and then how frequently there was cars coming in and out of the lot. So we have the list of conditions as we have modified the language to be up to date with our current standard conditions that we have for all CUPs, since this one was about 6 years old. Borrowed the language from the original one, so we cleaned it up a little bit. None of the conditions have changed. The language has just been updated. So instead of showing you a lot of black lining and underlining, I just made a quick summary. I can read through this if you would like. Essentially, there's no change in the use. There's no outside storage permitted anywhere for any kind of cars or equipment for it or product or anything like that. There's a limit to 20 vehicles on the property. All the cleaning and service that will be done there on the site will be done in the detailing shed. And then outside of that, we propose that the CUP would expire in 10 years, so January 2035, and then the standard language for the transfer lease. Do y'all have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Would the applicant wish to speak? All right. We will open the public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to speak for or against the proposed changes, you are welcome to come up and speak. You have 3 minutes to do so. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Are there any questions from the commission, to staff or anyone else?
None.
So if there are no questions, no concerns, do we have a motion?
I have a motion. I move that the commission recommend approval of conditional use permit CU 2025-00005, application by Enterprise Leasing Company, subject to the imposed conditions as presented.
Second. Ms. Parker, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. McLaughlin?
Aye.
Ms. Kowalski?
Aye.
Mr. Cosby?
Aye.
Mr. Patak?
Aye.
Mr. Kimmerly?
Aye.
The motion to recommend approval passes on a 5-0 vote. This case is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the Board of Supervisors on December 2nd, 2025. It moves forward with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission. Our next public hearing item tonight is in District 1, CU 2025-6, application by Paul Bush requesting to renew conditional use permit CUP case CU 2019-21 for mining operations on 34.368 acres on Shannon Hill Road, approximately 3/4 mile southwest of Payne Road, on tax map number 31050. The property is zoned agricultural general A1. The CUP is required by County Zoning Ordinance Section 15102 in accordance with Section 15283F. The comprehensive plan designates this area as rural enhancement area.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the
Good
record,
evening.
my name is Ben Ellis. I'm a planner with the county. Before we use an application by Paul Bush to renew his conditional use permit for mining operations, the property is located on about 34 acres on Shannon Hill Road in District 1. The map on the left shows the general vicinity of the property within the county. The map on the right shows the property outlined in red. The property, as well as the surrounding properties, exhibit a rural character. The red dot in the middle of the property is the assessor's mineral card. It has no acreage and is for tax purposes only. The general property, the property and the adjacent properties are zoned A1, agricultural general. The comprehensive plan designates this property and the surrounding area as rural enhancement area. The applicant is currently operating a mine on the property subject to conditional use permit approved in 2020. No changes to the use are proposed. The site is the location of the old Moss Mine, which was a gold mine. The mining process generally consists of excavating the old mine shafts, crushing and sorting the material, washing the material and separating with centrifugal force in which the gold and the mercury separates from the rock and soil. Mercury is removed from the site. There's no blasting occurring as part of the operations. Before you use the conceptual plan for the application, in the center is the general location of the old mine, which is being cleared and excavated. The applicant processes the material over here, and over here is equipment storage. With the draft conditions, this proposed use would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. The applicant held a community meeting on June 24th. 3 citizens attended. There was discussion of the location of the mining operations, history of the property, mining process, similar operations elsewhere, and mining production. Staff has proposed the following conditions, which have been blacklined to show changes from the previous permit. These conditions have generally been updated to reflect current circumstances as the use is not proposed to change. The first condition permits the use. Condition 2 was removed as this permit is a renewal. The next condition generally regulates the property, including restrictions on off-site and toxic materials. These conditions relate to trash, boundaries, and access roads. These conditions relate to drainage on site. Condition H relates to screening. Condition I relates to the closing of pits. And condition J was removed. Again, this is a renewal, not a first-time application. The new condition 3 relates to permits. Condition 4 relates to the manner in which the zoning code's use standards are to be enforced. These conditions describe the marking of boundaries, blasting, and hours of operation. Staff has proposed that the permit expire in 10 years. Be happy to answer any questions from the commission at this time.
Have there been any complaints from any neighbors or anything on record?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think you showed on the conceptual plan that they are, I think you said they smoothed over, they're doing something with the old quarry, is that correct?
Yes.
So they closed that altogether, or?
I can, the applicant can explain further,
Okay.
but as this is an old gold mine, there's some residual gold still on the property. So his business model is to excavate the site with modern technology, and the price of gold being where it is, it's more economical to dig up the old gold mine and extract the small amount of gold that is there. So that is what he is doing.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff? All right, thank you, Mr. Ellis. Would the applicant like to speak, please? All right, I'll open up for public comment, citizen participation. If someone wants to speak, they can come forward, and you have 3 minutes to do so. Seeing none, I will close the citizen comment period. There are no questions or concerns. Do we have a motion?
I move that the commission recommend approval of conditional use permit CU 2025-00006, application by Paul Bush, subject to the imposed conditions as presented.
Second.
It's probably been moved and second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Kimmerly?
Aye.
Mr. Patek?
Aye.
Mr. Cosby?
Aye.
Ms. Kowalski?
Aye.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Aye.
The motion to recommend approval passes on a 5-0 vote. This case is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the Board of Supervisors on December 2nd, 2025. It moves forward with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission. Our final public hearing items tonight are companion cases. District 5, RZ 2025-5, application by Graham Real Estate LLC, requesting a proffer amendment to rezoning case RZ 1998-5A to allow for self-storage mini warehouse facility on 35.54 acres at 12330 Patterson Avenue on tax map number 641-074A. The property is zoned Business General B1 with proffered conditions, and the comp plan designates this area as commercial, as well as CU 2025-4, application by Graham Real Estate LLC requesting a conditional use permit for self-storage mini warehouse facility on a 9-acre portion of 35.54 acres at 12330 Patterson Avenue on tax map number 641074A. The property is currently zoned Business General B1 with proffered conditions, but in companion case RZ 255, the applicant is requesting a proffer amendment to allow self-storage mini warehouse facility. The CUP is required by zoning ordinance section 15242, and the comprehensive plan designates this area as commercial. Staff will give a combined presentation, and the commission will hold one public hearing. However, each case will need its own motion and vote.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Ray Cash, Assistant Director of Planning. As Ms. Parker laid out in the reading, this is 2 cases that we'll be discussing together in one presentation. It is in District 5. It is both a proffer amendment as well as a CUP request. This property is currently zoned B1 with proffers. On the maps on the screen, the left-hand map, you can see in the circle here, the proposed property before you tonight is in the southeastern corner of the county. It's right along actually close to the border of Henrico County. In the aerial photo, you can see the existing Tuckahoe Pines retirement community. The subject parcel regarding the conditional use we'll be talking about is this property that's right next door. There are also county-owned facilities here related to our Public Utilities Department on the adjoining lot. On the zoning map, you can see the current property is B1, as well as the adjoining properties to the east. There is M1 to the west, that is actually the West Creek development. On the right hand of the screen is the comprehensive plan. It's a little mix of comprehensive plan uses in here. Makes it seem like there's a lot of different changes. We have the prime economic development here, again, West Creek. A portion of that under the comprehensive plan is considered rural enhancement area. That area is very encumbered with wetlands and floodways and the like. The other areas are commercial under comprehensive plan. You also see the county and institutional, which is, of course, where our utility facilities are. So again, the request is to amend the zoning case RZ 1998 5A to allow for self-storage use. Currently, the proffers do not allow for the use. This case was very specific on the uses that would be allowed on the property. The companion case, the conditional use, would request a conditional use approval for a self-storage use that's only required through conditional use within the B1 district. There are also 11 voluntary proffers and 16 conditions that will be are recommended by staff to impose with the approval of the conditional use permit. Back in 1998, there was an original approval for this case from A2 to B1, which had proffered conditions, sorry about that, related to the use of the property. They were pretty specific, and it called for the development of an office park with 2 buildings. That condition also had specific requirements related to the amount of retail uses, the size and scale that could be there. That development never came about. So later, in 2018, it was amended to provide for what was the term back then, a home for the aged, which meant there was a retirement community placed there, which became Tuckahoe Pines Retirement Community. There was an updated conceptual plan that showed potential different phases of development. This request before you will include amendment to show an updated conceptual plan, and where phase 2 was supposed to occur is where the self-storage facility will be. The property has been developed as referenced with the retirement community on the western portion. If you look on the screen here, this is floodway, so that's where the water is continually and most likely. This is the 100-year floodplain that's outlined in red. This is the existing retirement community, so you can see that it's pretty well encumbered and occupied. They use as much space as they can, potentially build on. The same will occur with the proposed use before you tonight. There is an additional condition we'll talk about in the conditional use request that will impose additional condition that should development occur within the 500-year floodplain, which is not truly regulated, it's with the potential for a flood. However, if concerned if they do place leasable space within that area, that should be a providing notification to people within that contract for the lease so they know there's potential for flooding. So the use before you for the self-storage tonight includes 4 buildings. It's about 110,000 square feet. It utilizes the existing access road, which runs parallel to Patterson Avenue. There's a 50-foot buffer already along the frontage property, which will be retained. They're proposing a 3-story building, a medium-sized 1-story, and 2 smaller buildings. Also with this case, we'll show there's a new entrance from Patterson Avenue, which will be eastern towards Henrico County, which will be a right-in, right-out only. There is proffers that cover the hours of operation. Access to this facility, as often is with these self-storage facilities, will be gated with keypad and cameras. Leaseholders can access the facility outside the regular office hours. So this is the site plan or the concept plan proposed for the use. This is the new entrance proposed into the facility. This again will be a right-in, right-out. There was, they had to get exception requests and approvals from VDOT on the access and the turn lane construction, so it has a slightly less taper than would normally be required. Additionally, there's an improvement to the existing entrance, which is to the west. That entrance is designed and required to be a right-in, right-out. However, the way it was currently constructed, people were often trying to make the left movement, generally back across Patterson Avenue through there, which of course would be a problem. So part of the improvements that the applicant will be requested to do is enhance this, sort of create a wedge, or people say a pork chop, that you're really forcing people to take the legal right turn for this. As we walk through this case, again, the 3-story building is here, 1 story, and then smaller type of pods, structures. Access into the building would be through here. There's also the office that's provided with that, parking. This is the access road, again, that runs parallel to Patterson Avenue that goes to the county facilities back here. As we go through the conditions, it is an important condition that during the construction phase, they maintain, as they construct it, we have to make sure we maintain access to the county facilities, or else there may be problems. We don't want to have that disappearing water issue that previously harnessed the communities. But for this situation, that'll be something we'll monitor during the plan development, how that will be phased to provide that access at all times. This is the buffer, again, along the frontage. It's well treated as it currently is, as it's currently developed. This was an elevation provided. It should be noted this elevation is not proffered, just to give an idea of what the site could look like. This is located within the Route 650 River Road entrance corridor design overlay. Any architectural, any site plan, anything like that would have to go through a certificate of approval process. That's administrative. If it's not in compliance with the provisions of the ordinance, it could be appealed to Design Review Committee. So that will be reviewed later. As far as transportation is concerned, this is Patterson Avenue, which is identified a major thoroughfare plan as a principal arterial with a posted speed limit of 55 miles an hour. The TIA demonstrates there's not really a significant impact in the AM and PM peak hours that then, on the background traffic as it is. This is not a huge traffic generator that's proposed. As I referenced, VDOT did concur in regards to the access management exception and the reduced taper. The new Proffer 11 does propose that western entrance, as well as improvements, updates to the western entrance, but also to do some additional enhancements to prevent the illegal left turns. And then the condition related to sharing the access with the county. There was a community meeting held by the applicant. No members of the public attended, but Supervisor Chair Winfrey, Supervisor Lau, and Planning Commissioner Patuck did attend. and really discussion was really about the business, how it's going to operate, and how it's going to be built, and what's its impact on the community. So as we go through once we go through the zoning process, when they get down to the actual development, in addition to the plan and development process that we would do, there would also be the certificate of approval process that we talked about, which would relate to any site exceptions they need, as well as to design and architecture. And as referenced, the elevations, those shown, are really to demonstrate what they hope that it will look like. We'll work out exact details during the future process. The comprehensive plan does designate this area as commercial, which is really retail service, office, retail warehouse use. There does allow for certain other types of uses, such as nursing homes. This self-storage use would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and the conditions we impose through a conditional use helps to adjust it and make it more compatible with uses in the surrounding area. Do a quick summary of the proffers. Public water and sewer. We do have use restrictions already existing for the property, as I referenced. One of those changes to proffer 2 is to eliminate the previous use of home for the aged and to clarify some of those uses to modernize what they are, and also provide for the self-storage use should it be approved through the conditional use permit. There is existing exterior material requirements for the Tucko retirement, as well as what we're proposing today. Setbacks, buffers, underground utilities. Access is limited to 2 points, which of course we've walked through those points of access to Patterson Avenue. Signage should be a monument style as proposed. There's an updated concept plan to the previous ones. There is an access easement along the rear of the property up within the wetlands area, the floodplain area, and that's a future, hopefully part of a county trail network within those areas. It's nice to be able to take advantage of natural connections and greenways. Additionally, we also have county utility easements that run through that area, so we can utilize the easements for different purposes. And as referenced, there are Patterson Avenue improvements as well. So as referenced, this is a conditional use permit. There are standard conditions that we typically have with these self-storage facilities, and of course, we try to focus on what's specific to this one. Again, allow the use. There's a concept plan required that they cannot begin operation of the site, of course, so you have a PAD has been approved, it's been constructed, and all the improvements has been provided. They cannot have hazardous material storage, flammable materials, or perishable goods. Outside storage, this facility is not designed, nor would it be permitted that there would be storage of something like recreation vehicles, boats, or other type of trailers. No business activity is permitted on the site, with the exception of those related to the the use itself, which would mean sale of tape, boxes, or whatever those typical things you get with moving type of operations. The bay doors for the facility cannot be located so that they're visible from Patterson Avenue. As referenced, there is a provision for monument signs. Also, and additionally, the sign cannot be internally illuminated. There's a big word for Ray. Outdoor speakers are typical as limited. You wouldn't want projected noise to the adjacent property. Floodplain development, as referenced, there is a specific acknowledgement that would be asked to be placed within leasing contracts. Hours of operation for the business, we've already talked about before, what those will be limited to. Additionally, there's a limitation that the building on the site is limited to 3 stories. The property itself, there's expectation there would be a subdivision approved so that each use has its own separate ownership, and to make sure through that process we're maintaining the accesses that need to be provided for each of the properties. The construction plan, as we talked about, would be maintaining access through the construction process to the county facilities. The standard condition we have related to transfer a lease that they would have to notify our department in regards to that. And then construction hours. Construction hours for this site are limited to 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We do have provisions in that condition if there's emergency situations, you need to continue concrete pours or things like that, you can get an exception to extend those hours. Again, we've asked that you may hold one public hearing for both cases, and you must have a separate vote for each of those. Staff is available for any questions, and the applicant's representative is here for a presentation if you would like.
Thank you, Mr. Cash. Any questions for staff?
I do have one quick question. Can you go back to slide 47, please? Sorry.
Yeah, for some reason it seems to be, it seems to be moving
slow.
slow tonight as well, so. And I'll just dramatically now go to 47. Okay.
Okay, so am I looking at this correctly, that there is it'll be paved as you go into the access where that, the new pork chop access or whatever, but then it turns into a gravel access road?
No, this will be paved in the
Okay,
future.
does that say gravel?
I
Am
thought
I
this was
reading-
being paved. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Let me double check the conditions. All right, that's what I thought. Yeah, thank you for the audience help on that one. Yeah, currently they are gravel, so that's why it looks that way, but
And
they
is-
are, will be paved in the future.
So that will give you access to the county water pump area, correct?
Right. So our facilities are over here.
Okay,
Okay. Currently, they do utilize this access here, and as Ms. Mullen referenced, this area is currently a gravel type of operation, but it would be paved up to here. The benefit of this new alignment is you're not really having, typically the users of the mini storage as well as the county vehicles trying to utilize this entrance more closer to the retirement community. So it does bring an advantage to the site, but yeah, as we expected, that is paved, that access road.
and then there will be some sort of a gate or something where only county employees can then get past that certain point, right? There won't
Right.
be just open-
Yeah, and again, I'm not exactly sure what operational improvements they'll require for that. That facility, of course, is gravel. There's not really activity on that site now, but I anticipate that something of some fencing would be there.
Okay.
And if you like, I can always talk to
Yeah,
utilities about
I mean, I
that.
assumed it was.
For that, I'm assuming they are because those are sensitive facilities. We don't want people wandering onto the
Sure.
site there. Especially now, this is more a public opening of the facility. And of course, they would have gates for their use here
Sure,
at the different
okay.
locations.
So currently, there's no way to go left out of either one of these complexes,
Correct.
and that's not a concern for the county.
No, we don't have, it's where it's located on Patterson Avenue. So it's an area, you're not really set up for the crossovers for that. And with this use, the use that probably would have needed the crossover more would have been the retirement community just for people, more access for that. But there isn't one there, and there's no requirement for that to be there.
The staff views it like they would rather not have a left turn lane just for safety.
Well, it's part of that site. It's a safety issue for that and the movement. I know when they redesigned this area, did a lot of road improvements. When this got built, it became sort of a worse situation. But the intent from the beginning was to limit it to right out only.
Thank you.
And there's no pods or anything that'll be transported in and out. This is just,
That's a little bit of their operational. It's part of, there's none that's intended to be stored there. I would anticipate people may have their moving pods. They come and unload
Okay.
there. They're not intended to be stored on the site. I'll let the applicant clarify that.
but that
for you.
access would give more than enough room if something like that. did
Yeah,
happen from
and
it. Okay.
when you look at it, it's probably, you have some good moving here. Now, again, with the way this will be designed to the Sierra commercial entrance there, it's almost a straight shot if you're trying to bring in, say, larger trucks, or if you're someone probably not as skilled at driving the U-Haul, Penske, or whatever type of trucks there. It's probably better to have that straighter shot into the facility that way.
Thank you.
Mr. Cash, we've got the storage area, and then you had said there was room for 2 other buildings, and you mentioned some things that they can be. Didn't we know what they plan to do with those other buildings?
So they have the buildings here were the two that I refer, oh, you're talking about from the previous case or?
No,
No,
For this case here?
These two.
Right, so you have a single story, so you have the 3-story, which is the larger building
Yeah.
here. Single story here. These are smaller. I anticipate they're more traditional roll-up door, smaller bay.
Oh, okay.
Type of-
Same type of
buildings.
service.
There, I
Right.
think in the next slide, there's
A
you
little
can
bit more of a
see-
picture, you can
Yeah,
see
you can
what
see
they
in the
are.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a little more, the more traditional previous, the previous manifestation of what these storage facilities were, you'd see more of those type structures. Now they're becoming more climate controlled or other type of activity is the more typical version of those, but that would probably the older model storage.
So
Unit.
all the buildings are serviced for storage.
They're all right, all are for storage.
And is the county concerned at all that it might be held accountable for any damage to the access road there that you're going to use? I mean, right now it's gravel and county trucks go across on the gravel, but
Right, well now, once the owner, that'll be part of the agreement of maintaining the access to that too.
all right, and then
the
there's
county-
there's no concern that they'd come back and ask the county.
That would be something, again, I'm not sure exactly what we'd work out through that agreement. It's not conditioned, but I anticipate that would be something that there would be an access agreement would need to be maintained between the county and the owners of the lot.
All right, so that's
And
separate from this?
The maintenance of that would be something that would be a separate agreement. Because I did not read anywhere in the case in regards to that.
Yeah, I didn't see that
And
either.
again, that's something we can discuss with the applicant in the future with that, or they can respond. Our expectation is they be built through the process. Typically, that means they're also maintained.
Right.
For that, a future agreement could be worked out with the access or how that maintenance occurs or what our impacts are. But nothing is, to my knowledge, is in this case regarding that matter.
Okay.
How many trucks come through there per day, do you know?
For the county, I am not aware. It's not a lot of heavy trucks and things that come in there. You're talking for the county facilities, it's typically, more typical pickup truck or sale or lighter trucks. I'd have to, again, have that conversation with utilities, what they're for operational number of trucks in and out that go out throughout that facility.
Is it a sewage pumping facility? Is that what it is?
But yeah, it's a pumping facility. And so, for itself, it's, the times that I've been to the site, there's barely any trucks
Right,
there
yeah.
or vehicles there. It's a facility that's already built, but, we're always looking for places in the county for our people to go. We are very strapped for space. There is a modular, I think there's a modular start on site as well for an office facility there.
Is this going to be built in phases or all at one time?
That would be something for the applicant.
okay,
I would anticipate there'll be a little bit of phasing to try to get into operation. That's something we'd work out at plan development. Requirement is they at least have to have all the improvements in place before we allow any type of use to occur.
Okay,
Doesn't mean all the buildings have been built at that time.
okay, thank you.
So again, probably all those questions I tried to answer, they'll probably have a better answer for you if you'd like to hear from the applicant.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cash. Would the applicant like to come forward?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. I'm Jennifer Mullen with Roth Jackson here. Perfect, thank you. On
evening.
behalf of Graham Real Estate, the applicant before you with both of these this evening. Mr. Cash did a very thorough presentation, so I'll start by answering your questions, and then I'll just quickly run through my presentation, and then we can have any additional questions you may have. Your question on phasing, it is intended to be done in one phase, so they expect the timeline to be about 15 to 18 months. With respect to the access road, there's a current easement there. If that needs to be tweaked, that would be at the time of plan of development. And so I don't believe that there's any heavy trucks, as Mr. Cash stated, but if there needs to be some adjustment in the pavement, that'd be at the time of plan of development, working with utilities. I think those were the outstanding questions, unless someone else had one. So as noted, this is located at Patterson Avenue, and you can see West Creek Parkway is I can even get this to work, great. This is West Creek Parkway here. This is the pump wow, and I'm not very efficient with it, sorry. This is the pump station over here. The property in yellow is the subject property before you this evening. As Mr. Cash noted, it is zoned B1. It has M1 adjacent to it, and is currently improved with the Tuckahoe Pines retirement community. The total property is 35 acres. The property that we are requesting the CUP for is 9 acres. That is currently undeveloped, as was noted. I will just highlight a few things just to reiterate what Mr. Cash said. This dotted line here represents the 55-foot setback. So as you can see, the proposed concept plan has a significant setback, so we're about 200 feet there. And this concept plan reflects the self-storage use, and then also, as Mr. Cash thoroughly went through, the additional amendments to the proffer. So we have to go through the rezoning again in order to amend the proffers that currently exist, to add this self-storage use, update the concept plan, and then to add the additional traffic improvements that were noted, and I'll walk through as well. So you can see, again, this is a zoomed out version, just to give you the lay of the land. This is the county facility here. So you can see its current its current gravel access road goes into the site, but as was noted, that gravel access road will be improved, not only to have the improved access, but also improved from gravel to pavement. In addition, you have the 3 buildings, as were noted, and so those, Mr. Cash did note that the main building is located in the center of the site. Again, that is about 200 feet set back. It does have a large buffer area along Patterson Avenue that is currently treed, and so that will remain. And then you have the 2 smaller buildings to the east, and again, the county facility further to the east. As also was noted, this is located in the overlay district. And this also has proffers that existed with the original rezoning. Those proffers further restrict the materials that can be used from the overlay district. So not only will we be going through a certificate of approval, but we also have to comply with the proffers. So this shows you a bird's eye view looking at the property. And again, the materials and the designs are designed not only to fit in with the overlay district requirements, but to complement the Tuckahoe Pines facility next door, although you do have a significant amount of space between them. This just shows another view of the main building, and then you can see one of the smaller buildings just to the right. This shows another view close up, so you can see the material usage. And then you can see more of the smaller buildings. One of the questions, third question I forgot, was about pods, and so they do not have that practice, and it's actually prohibited in the conditions for the conditional use permit. And this is just a updated image, what Mr. Cash was talking about. So you can see we'll have not only a westbound turn lane taper, but we're also going to be improving the existing island that is shown more in white. The red outline is how we extend that to avoid the illegal movement that you can see in the black outline for the crossover. So solving that situation is part of the proffered conditions. This just shows you the white outline. This is the existing island here. And this is just an excerpt from the traffic analysis just to show that the generation of traffic from a self-storage facility generates fewer cars, not only on an average daily trip generation, but also on an AM and PM peak hour. So from a usage standpoint, this is a use that is less intense from a traffic generation standpoint than what was permitted under the previous iteration of the proffers. So with that, again, the proposed use is the proffer amendment. It's consistent with the comprehensive plan, as was noted, and the existing uses that are surrounding it. The applicant accepts the conditions that were outlined by Mr. Cash, and I respectfully request your recommendation of approval. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant?
Just from the design perspective, you said it will complement what Tuckahoe Pines currently looks like, so it's not going to be like just this drastic
Correct. I mean, we have, again, multiple layers. So we've got the certificate of approval, which outlines your materials. It has a setback which we far exceed, and their material palette, as you can see, which will be presented with the COA after, is complementary of the Tuckahoe Pines.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for your service, sir.
I will now open the public hearing for this particular case. If anyone wants to come up and speak for or against it, please come to the podium, state your name and your address. And again, you have 3 minutes
Good
to address
afternoon.
us. Yes, go ahead.
Chairman and committee members. My name is Victor Hines Jr., and I live at 12330 Patterson Avenue. I'm one of the aged. And hopefully, hopefully it won't count against my 3 minutes. I can give you a little insight into a question that's come up here a couple of times about the kinds of trucks that go to the lift station. And the county trucks, just as have been described, are pickup trucks and that type of thing. But the county allows, and I'm sure bills people for, the use of tanker trucks to come in there that have dumped, septic or whatever. Some of them are as big as 18-wheelers. And they come in and use the Tuckahoe Pines entrance and the current gravel driveway, and there's no problems with it. Everybody does fine, but there's some quite large vehicles come in that are not connected with the county, but they go back there and they're allowed to unload at the lift station. Moving right along to take up my 3 minutes. First of all, I don't speak for the management, and unfortunately, we're undergoing some management turmoil at the Home for the Aged right now, but I'm very impressed with the application and the landscaping and the look of the building, and it does complement Tuckahoe Pines. I guess our biggest concern would be there's going to be a lot of dust generated over 12 or 18 months. My comment would be that I think you all really seriously need to get with DOT and look again at that left turn situation. The problem is, when I was a young man, I could turn my head like an owl. And we are facing west and having to turn almost 180 degrees to see traffic coming from the left. And that's the dangerous situation. And I turn right, I do not turn left, but it's a dangerous situation. If that intersection is so dangerous that you can't turn left, then I don't think Rivergate should have the right to turn left either. But I would please get with DOT. If we had the opportunity to pull straight up, we only have to look 90 degrees to turn left. And that is my comment. It is a dangerous situation, and it's because we can't look behind ourselves. But I appreciate the opportunity to speak. It's my first time here. I'm very impressed.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. Would the applicant like to answer that?
Mr. Chair, members of the Planning Commission, again, Jennifer Mullen. Appreciate Mr. Hines coming down to speak. Virginia Department of Transportation has reviewed our plan and accepted it. We're happy to have additional discussions with them on the extension of the pork chop. I think sometimes that if you just have a stop sign, that only encourages folks to turn left more, but I'm not an engineer and they don't let me play one usually. But we're happy to continue to have those conversations. With respect to the additional truck traffic, if there are 18-wheelers, I think this proposal would actually only improve the situation since it's moving that traffic further to the east, an easier route for those trucks to take. So again, happy to answer any additional questions you may have based on that.
In response to his concern, there will be a second access coming off of Patterson Road right now.
Patterson, yes.
Yeah, and would the residents of Tuckahoe Creek be allowed to go over and use that as an exit? And they wouldn't have to.
Oh,
They wouldn't have to use a pork chop. No, to turn right, but they would only be 90
they'd only have to
degrees
look that way.
instead of 180 degrees.
Yeah, he said that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So maybe that is our solution, sir.
Yes, and my proposal wasn't against what they're doing now. I was proposing rip up what's there.
Right.
I understand.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a win-win solution.
No,
Right.
Thank
Yep.
you.
a right turn,
Right
Yeah,
turn
it's
out.
for a right turn.
Turn right on Patterson,
correct.
but then there is a cutoff where people can turn left into
Got,
Rivergate.
got it,
Correct.
got it.
Yes.
Right now, we have to go a quarter
Yep, yep,
mile
yep.
up to West Creek.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns from the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
And just to clarify, you'll need a motion for the rezoning and a vote. And then after we complete that, we'll need a motion and a vote for the conditional use as well.
All right, so could we have a motion for the rezoning?
I move that the commission recommend approval of proffer amended RZ 2025-0005, application by Graham Real Estate LLC, subjected to the imposed conditions as presented.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. McLaughlin?
Aye.
Ms. Kowalski?
Aye.
Mr. Cosby?
Aye.
Mr. Patek?
Aye.
Mr. Kimmerly?
Aye.
The motion to recommend approval passes on a 5-0 vote. This case is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the Board of Supervisors on December 2nd, 2025. It moves forward with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission. And then we'll need a motion and a vote for the CUP.
I move that the commission recommend approval of conditional use permit CU 2025-00004, application by Graham Real Estate LLC, subject to the imposed conditions as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Kimmerly?
Aye.
Mr. Patek?
Aye.
Mr. Cosby?
Aye.
Ms. Kowalski?
Aye.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Aye.
The motion to recommend approval passes on a 5-0 vote. This case is tentatively scheduled to be heard by the Board of Supervisors on December 2nd, 2025. It moves forward with a recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission.
Thank you very much. Ms. Sherry, please.
Mr. Cosby, I would like an opportunity to correct the public record. One of the meeting dates that I announced, this was for, let's see, I just messed it up. The excuse me just for a second. There it is. My apologies, I just had this one. The application for Ricky and Terry Bryan. This is a request for a conditional use permit for an accessory housing unit detached. I mentioned that it was on Monday, October 22nd. The 22nd is actually a Wednesday, so I wanted to make sure that people at home and people who are listening knew that that was the correct date, is Wednesday, not Monday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cosby, I know that we're all anxious for adjournment, but I did have an opportunity to speak with you prior to the meeting, but since I have an opportunity on the public record, I'd like to thank you on behalf of all of my staff. It's been a great year and a half working with you, and you made some decisions that have a positive impact on the county, and you should be proud. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure working with you, Ms. Sherry, as well as Mr. Cash and the rest of the staff also. I guess I'll hit the gavel one more time, right?
Just one more time.
If all minds and hearts are clear, as we would say, this meeting is adjourned.